Today we are counting down the top 10 Wonderkids to sign in Football Manager 2024. This video is going to feature 10 Wonderkids you can actually sign. I could include players like Yamal from Barcelona. He has the best potential in the game. He also plays for Barcelona. You can't sign him. The 10 players in this list are all players you're going to be able to sign, have some really good potential if fully developed. Speaking of which, I will be showing how good they get in this video. We're going to get straight into things. Let's run the intro and get into number 10, shall we? So coming in at number 10, we have Rodrigo Ribeiro of Sporting CP. This guy is a really good striker who is available for a fairly reasonable price in the region of £10 million in your first season. Look at his attributes here. You can see he's a fairly well-rounded player with some decent footiness with both feet for a player of his age. Given the fact he only turned 18 in April, you've got plenty of time to develop him. The only reason he's not higher in this list, his current ability is a little on the lower side. In spite of that, though, he starts as a leading League One player with potential Premier League quality. He does have a release clause. I promise you, in the first season, you can get him for cheaper than £51 million. In real life, he spent the last season playing for Sporting CP's B team, but has broken into the first team as of late. I feel like strikers for a good price are hard to come by, and in terms of options out there, this guy might be one of the best. Coming in at number 9, we have the athletic centre mid from AC Milan, Victor Elatu. Yes, a player from AC Milan in this list might come as a shock. He is surprisingly easy to sign in year one, available for a measly £2 million, there or thereabouts. His wages as well, not very high at AC Milan, £1,400 a week. As a result of that, you will be able to pry him away from them. He is a player who can play naturally at centre mid and centre defensive mid, has some great passing and technique for a deep line playmaker role, with some okay pace for a player at the age of 18 who has loads of time to develop. Looking at his scout report here, again, leading League One quality, potential Premier League standard, super consistent performer, resolute characteristics, can adapt well. The only reason he's not higher in this list, he doesn't have the most insane potential, although he will reach it often. And on top of that, if you're not managing in a top flight club in Europe, probably going to struggle to pull him away from Milan. Now, it's no secret in Football Manager that wing-backs are hard to come by, but in this list we have two, the first of which is a Great Dane himself, Elias Yellert. He plays for FC Copenhagen. He actually starts aged 20, although he has only just turned 20 when you start a save game in the summer. Looking at his attributes, really well-rounded wing-back who is super consistent, lacks a little bit in the air, maybe not the most physical player. In spite of that, he is the kind of player who can lead your starting 11 in a Champions League game at right back once fully developed. I've seen him go to AC Milan, Manchester United, Tottenham in various simulations. He develops superbly and he is available for less than £10 million. Now, you won't be able to sign him year one because he has just signed a new deal with FC Copenhagen in real life. But once the Danish season gets underway, once you're into that winter transfer window, you will be able to snap him up. And I can't recommend it highly enough. Wingbacks are hard to come by. Whilst he doesn't have any attributes above a 16, he is just a mega well-rounded player. And like I said, wingbacks are just hard to find. For this price, you're onto a winner, and I didn't really already mention it. He can also play left-back. The versatility is nice. Coming in at number 7, we have a centre-back that's injured when you start a save game. Leopold Kerfeld, don't be distracted by the injury. This guy, 19 years old, Austrian. Of all the centre-backs in Football Manager this year, this guy just consistently develops into a very solid option. Available for around £15 to £20 million year one is the only reason he's not higher in this list. He starts with this injury, but once he recovers from it, he will be phenomenal. His physicals are great for a centre-back at a very tender age. Mentally, he's pretty well-rounded. I love the fact he's got such good work rate for a centre-back, and he's got good technique and first touch as well. He's the kind of player who you're really going to be able to develop into a ball-playing defender. You can see, in real life, he's been playing with SK Rapid on the consistent basis for their first team, and it's with good reason. He has some really good current ability. He will consistently fulfill his potential despite his injury to start the save game. I think he's a player who could offer a squad player role in your first season if you're at a top flight club as well, which is always a nice bonus. So for that reason, he's in this countdown and he's in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we've got a player that by law you have to say his full name whenever you say his name. Rome Jadon Owusu Adoro. This guy, Dutch international, under 21 cap already, phenomenal goalkeeper. Goalkeepers in Football Manager, especially young ones with potential, Kind of hard to find in Football Manager this year, especially for an affordable price. This guy will set you back less than £10 million in your first season. His current ability is great. His potential is even better. Like a lot of players in this list, do be aware, a couple of his hidden attributes like consistency, which in this save game have rolled particularly good, can roll on the lower side. If you don't know, if a player has a 0 set for an attribute, save game to save game, they will be rolled slightly differently. So as a result of that, in your own save game, some of the players in this video might look a little bit different. Rome Jadon here, though, for the price you're paying, can become a top-quality Premier League goalkeeper. There's an example of a save game that I'll put on screen now where he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world for Newcastle. Like I already mentioned, goalkeepers are hard to find. Goalkeepers this good, particularly hard. The fact he's available for less than £10 million, and he will join you year one, is absolutely mad. I'm afraid to say he is the only goalkeeper in this list. So if you came here looking for a flood of goalkeepers, I'm letting you down. Maybe we'll do a goalkeeper-specific video. If that's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. Now, I do want to interrupt the countdown at this point just to give you a little tip in Football Manager. Last year in Football Manager, the game changed how signing players who are under the age of 18 works. And as a result, players like this guy, honorary mention, Jovan Zivkovic, will not be interested in signing for you until he turns 18. In this example here, you can see how good this guy is. He's not the craziest Wonderkid, but for £1 to £2 million, I'll show you how good he can get. He's worth picking up for that price. Unfortunately, if you try to bid on him, he's not going to want to join you right away. So what can you do about these players? Well, here's the thing we're going to do. We are going to go to history and create a note. And from here, I then will make a note here, paste in his name and just write B-Day. I'm going to set a date in the bottom right. And for that date, I'm going to select May 2024. And it was the 23rd. And now, when it gets to his birthday, I will get a little inbox item saying, hey, it's his birthday. And I can go and sign him. Is this a bit stalkerish? Maybe, but it'll make sure you don't forget about these players who are under 18 who are coming up in the second half of this video. I promised you wing-backs. I've got another one for you here. Valentin Barco comes in next in our countdown. This guy can play left mid, can play left wing-back, can play centre attacking mid, and can play left back. This guy's available for £8 million from Boca Juniors in your first season. He is worth absolutely every penny. Incredible player. Bizarrely, if you were going to have a complaint about him, maybe his physicals are slightly lacking for a wing back, but given his age, plenty of time to develop him. At the start of a save game, he is already judged to be a Premier League quality player. The only reason he's not higher is, well, £8 million, and also he will expect a lot of playing time, which you might not necessarily be able to guarantee him depending on who you're managing. When I have simulated Football Manager into the future, there's been an ongoing habit for teams to train him to play as an elite winger, play him in the attacking third, and whilst he can definitely do that, given how good he is going forward, if you could round off his defensive ability, make his physicals that little bit better, I think he could be a phenomenal left-back option. Okay, look, now we're getting into the big ones, aren't we? We're getting into those exciting players out there. In at number 4, we have Claudio Echeverri. This guy, another Argentine, plays for River Plate. 17 years old, is more expensive than some of the other players on this list. That is the reason he's only in at number 4. Look at the technicals. 19 first touch, 14 technique, 16 flair, 15 vision. Physical's lacking a little bit. I would actually probably train him to play as a shadow striker if you do pick him up, just to try and help with his physicals and some of the mentals he's lacking as much as possible. In spite of that, though, his raw ability is there. His potential is insane. And he can become one of the best versatile attacking options in Football Manager this year. I should point out that the price that he's available for, £17 million, is a release clause. I have frequently seen him become available for cheaper. Just as a reminder, he starts at 17 in the save game. As I mentioned earlier, when a player turns 18, that's the time to swoop and move in. And if you can swoop and move in, this guy will be worth every penny. Needs a little bit of tender love and care to fully maximise his potential. If you achieve that, though, he will be a bargain, even at his release clause, which might seem hard to believe. Here he is in the future. Drink it in, enjoy it. He is just an insane playmaker for a Premier League club, or any kind of top European club. If you get him outside the top leagues, probably a cheat code. A lot is made of Norway's golden generation. Add another name to that list. Sverre Nypan. This guy, 16 years old, has some insane potential. Super consistent performer. Incredible current ability for a player who is 16. The amount of positions he can play, how good he is, and how well-rounded he is absolutely mad. He doesn't have a mental besides leadership below a 9, which, in case you don't know, for a 16-year-old is insane. During the 2022 season, he broke into the Rosenborg first team at a very young age, and as a result of that, Football Manager has reacted accordingly. This guy, I've seen him end up at Liverpool, PSG, Newcastle. He has very, very good footedness with both feet. He is just, I'll be honest, he's the perfect centre mid. You could train him to play in the wide areas if you want. At 16, only downside, you're going to have to wait for him to turn 18 before he's probably going to be interested in signing for you. Set a note for him, get that reminder in the calendar. As soon as he turns 18, get a bid in with Rosenborg. You can pick him up for less than £5 million. Just do it. Sign him, please. Young Wonderkid strikers, they don't grow on trees, do they? I mean, no one grows on trees, but Junior Krupi especially is one of a kind. 16 years old, I'm going to say it now, the next Mbappe. I mean, Football Manager's predicted it, I'm getting carried away. This guy is 16 years old and he plays for Lorient in France. Now, Lorient, not the biggest club in France. He is 16, so he's probably not going to want to join you right away. He's listed as their hot prospect, and with good reason. He is a super consistent player, super adaptable. You might be scared off by his valuation here. I have seen him so frequently in save games force a transfer away from Lorient before the age of 18. You will be able to pick him up for cheaper, I promise you. I mean, look at him. He is a ready-made player. Natural at centre attacking mid, natural in the striking department. He has everything that an advanced forward needs. All he really needs to do is have his attribute polygon just outwards. If everything remains the same and expands, he'll be top quality. Here's an example of how good he can look in the future as well. Just to give you an idea, I'm not being hyperbolic. I've seen him go for less than £10 million to some very, very random clubs. So for that reason, he is in at number 2. Have him on your radar, check for his unhappiness. If he becomes available, swoop in for him. His current ability for his age combined with his potential means he is very, very likely to fulfill his potential in just about every save game. You could be the man to unlock that potential and then use and abuse it. Make him incredible, let him carry your team. Krupi. Yeah, I'm going to be keeping my eye out for this guy in real life, I think. And finally, in at number 1, I feel like we need a drum roll or something. Editing Jack, can we put in a drum roll? Esteval. We don't have the budget for a drum roll, I'm just hearing that in my ear. This guy, best Wonderkid in Football Manager this year. He has a minus 95 potential. That means it will roll between 160 and 190. The only downside, starts age 16. You won't be able to sign him right away. In spite of that, though, 17 determination, amazing physicals. His technicals are beyond solid as well. Save game to save game, his attributes will roll slightly differently. But for the price he costs you, for the potential he has, just make sure you pick him up. Just make sure you get in ahead of Man City. Unlike the example save I have for you of this guy in the future, genuinely can develop into one of the best strikers in world football. He will need a little bit of help to get there, especially if he does get some lower attribute rolls. But for the price you're paying, I feel like he is the successor to Endrick. You know, last year in Football Manager, it was all about Endrick. And you know what? When you look at this comparison, you might think, oh yeah, it still is all about Endrick. Look, Endrick, he's a freak of nature. We're not going to see another one of him again. These two guys have the exact same potential. The only challenge you might face is his slightly lower current ability. Then again, just as a reminder, the bloke is 16 years old. He has time to develop. Esteval is one of the most affordable players in the game with the second highest potential possible to be set by Football Manager researchers. Goes without saying, he has to come in at number 1. Anyway, gang, that is going to conclude this countdown from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know of these players which one stuck out to you. If there's any players who should have been in this list, let me know who they are down in the comments. Besides that, if you're new around here, subscribe. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. It's me, Jack. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.